Well, no. Let's pretend this is 155, and you got RDA, you got Khabib, and you got Tony Ferguson, and you got the King of Swing, and you got 4 guys, and you 3 guys are going back and forth wrestling, beating each other up to determine who's going to get the Irish kid, right? But guess what? The last 2 fights on the prelims, I knocked the motherfucker out in the first round. And I mean, one time the mouthpiece went out of the fucking thing. And guess what? The last time they put me on number 3 on the card, I won by a fucking knockout and a kick to the head. And I call out Conor McGregor. You know what? I just came off 3 dramatic fucking wins. Fuck you 3 dudes. You know, that's what...
It's entirely possible.
It's entirely possible. You know, he's rising quick, and they decide that's the money fight. You don't know. Right now, who's the real money fight? You know, there's 20 money fights right now.
Yeah.
There's 20 fucking money fights. Now what you got in the UFC is that, guess what, man? And I'm not being out of line here. You took away my sponsorship money. I'm in that fucking realm. Guess what? I want a money fight. If I win fights, I got nothing wrong by me asking for a money fight. Put me in the ring with one of these guys. Let me get $500,000 or $750,000 fucking dollars. I need that. I just fought 7 times for the small fucking 30 G's or the small 50 G's while everybody's getting fat and flying to fucking Hawaii and smoking. You know what I'm saying? You look at the gates, you look at different fucking things. So I get that. I did it for years. You know what they pay you at the Comedy Store on Sunset? $15. $15. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, $15. If you do the main room, you get 70% split by 22 people. But during the week, you get $15. Am I frustrated? No. It got me to where I am today. Those 6 fights you had at the short 20 G's while everybody else was getting 200,000, what are you going to fucking do? But guess what? I fought my 6 fights at 20 G's. I got the fight of the night bonus 3 times. I got the taste of blood. Let me get a fucking one of those 1 million things too. Let me get some security for my family. What happens if I get kicked in the head and I don't know how to fucking spell Washington? You know what I'm saying? I forget how to spell Washington. How am I going to get a fucking job when I'm 40? You got to give me a little something. You know what I'm saying? A little something. 2 or 3 of those fights in a row. You know, Michael Bisping's looking for it. You know, a bunch of those guys are waiting for it. I know the fight is Michael Bisping against Yoel Romero on paper. But you know what? Michael Bisping's been there for 20 years. He's been at the UFC for a long time. He's got a knockout that's on every knockout reel in America. His eye is
knocked out by Dan?
Dan Henderson. His fucking eye, pobrecito. He lost a fucking eye in this sport. You know what, bro? He's got 2 kids. Let him get a money fight against GSP or something like that. One time. Yoel ain't going nowhere. Yoel is getting stronger and bigger every day. Yoel's going the other direction. When you get to be 38, you can't see. Your dick starts fucking around. Your piss smells funny.
But Joel's up there too. He's like 38.
He's like 38. But Yoel's got 3 more years. You know what I'm saying? But these guys they're kind of entitled to it. I can't see me going into the UFC tomorrow winning 2 fights and saying, I want $1 million. I can't give it to you. You won 2 fights, kid. But let me see 16, 18 fights.
Well, 8-0 with 8 knockouts.
Oh, no. Please. Chris Weidman still hears fucking noises. He can't hear nunchucks no more, Chris Weidman. That's the loudest crack I ever heard in my fucking life. He can't even be in the room when his wife is making breakfast in the morning, Chris Weidman.
Well, what about Jared Cannonier? He fought last night. Still does a FAA job. They said he does 10-hour shifts.
Yeah, I read that.
He just fought on the pay-per-view last night.
Yeah, he has a federal job.
And he's just like, I'm not giving it up.
Oh, that's his insurance. That's probably his family's insurance. I don't know what the situation is. But, you know,
that's
listen,
tough,
everybody
man.
wants a money fight. You know why everybody wants to fight Conor McGregor? Fucking Anderson Silva wants to fight Conor McGregor. I heard fucking Sugar Ray Leonard wants to fight. You know, everybody wants to fight Sugar. Sure, everybody wants to make $20 million. You know what I'm saying? But there's not a lot of those fights. But everybody wants one of them. And right now, you've been in the UFC. You paid your dues.
Oh, the dues been paid.
The dues have been paid.
I've been paid.
From the fucking backyard to now.
From the backyard to now, them dues been paid outside the UFC. That's what I mean. Like, a lot of dudes get to skip lines and privileges because they were in the Ultimate Fighter or they got a big fan base coming in. You see them getting put on big cards, they're getting pushed. And that's the shit that I'm like, that's cool, you know. But when it comes to the ranking, let's base that on fighting ability. You know, on who's beating who's up, you know. Promote whoever you want to promote, but I just want to fight the best in the world. And it's took until this long for me to get this number by my name. And I didn't get good overnight. I've been good. It's just that I haven't been able to get these star key matchups, you know.
How much bargaining power do you have when you sign a contract? I think, because I don't think the average fan, and if you can't talk about it, that's fine. I'm not asking you to tell your specific contract, but just can you say, I want this specific, I want more for a fight, or do you lock in how much you're getting paid per fight for 10 fights? I don't know.
I'll plead the fifth.
Okay, fair enough.
Your Honor. Gracias, man.
It's a beautiful fucking thing. You know, listen, man. I get pissed sometimes now. I get pissed when I go to a club now sometimes. And they pay me on a percentage. And I look at the check, and I look at that same owner who told me 20 years ago after I did the longest yard that all he could pay me is $800 for the week. And I want to fucking punch the fuck out of him. But at the same time, he gave me an opportunity to improve. And guess what? I beat the odds, and I get him now. You know what I'm saying? So I understand. I understand the fight game. I understand what happened. I mean, do I support them now? I like the fighters to make money. They get punched in the fucking head. This isn't a fucking job where you go in and staple papers and go home at the end of the day. You know, something might happen. It's hard work, man. It's 6 fucking days a week, and you're sore, and you're eating Advils. What do you think happens to your liver when you're fucking 60 and shit? It's a tough fucking life, man. Everybody wants to get paid, but I don't think at times people don't understand the commitment they have to do to be paid. You know, I got it. I had it over the fucking years. Listen, I lived till fucking 6 years ago. I paid $600 for rent in Hollywood in the studio with my wife. You know what I'm saying? But you stick with this shit long enough. And the whole time I was making money all those years, I was just snorting it. I was snorting it and smoking fucking dope and eating like an animal. So you don't do fucking dick. But it's so weird how everybody gets into stuff for money. When I got into comedy, I didn't get into comedy for money, bro. Not at all. I never thought about comedy. I never thought about money in comedy. When I would call you and you'd say my club pays $50, I would take it. To me, I knew how to pay my dues. I always fucking knew that. Then one day you wake up and you go, you know what? I'm enough paying my fucking dues. I ain't doing that shit no more. And you make a constant decision not to do it. And that's when the door opens up for you. It's the people who say, I'm not going to do it no more, and then keep doing it. Then they realize one day, fuck, nobody's paying me because you haven't made the decision. After the strike in this town, the movie business dried up. Bro, I was submitting myself 20 times a year for movies. Plus my agents were submitting me. I was working all the fucking time. Then there was a strike in town, and everything disappeared. So people started contacting me for these YouTube fucking movies. You know, you got to bring your own clothes, or $100 a day. That's the big one in this town, $100 a day. So that, and you don't know it when you book the movie, but it's a night shoot because they can't afford to pay for locations. So everything's a night shoot in a rush. You got to go to a strip club and shoot at 4 in the fucking morning. Well, I did like 4 of those things. And I said one day, you know what, I'm not doing this no more. And I kept getting calls. And I refused to do those fucking things. And one day I got grudge matched. Did they pay me? But at least I got a big time fucking movie. I'm not wasting my goddamn time. It's not till I made a constant decision that happened. You know what I'm saying? Then I see, like when I was a comic, there was a lady who didn't fucking like me when I first started. For me to get back at her, I would do her rooms for free. I would call her up the day of the gig and go, I'm going to go down there and do a guest spot. Because I knew that it would just make me stronger, that she was a piece of shit anyway, and I was going to show her. I was better than fucking she was. Then the club owners would ask her, how come you don't book him? And she would tell them some story, oh, he does drugs, I don't want to book him, whatever fucking story. She's dead. I'm still fucking alive and taking like a bad motherfucker that I am. The moral of the story is, it's like when a fighter, when you're home and you see a fighter get up and go, I just want to fight. I don't care what they pay me. You're like, you motherfucker. And the same thing with comedians. There's comedians. That's why when I first got to the store one day, I made that remark. I said, the place is packed. They only give you $15 fucking dollars. And one of the managers said, if you don't want to be here, take your name off the fucking list. I'll put a fucking map out there. And I'll do a sign-up list for you at 1 o'clock in the morning. See how many people sign up for it. You don't know how lucky you are. But you always want to get what you deserve also, you know? But for a while, you get a couple dicks in the ass, and that's the way the fucking ball bounces. Even Mike Tyson got fucked in the ass. You know what I'm saying? Even Mike Tyson. Somewhere along the line, something happens. That's why you got to watch your back like a motherfucker.